Hi everybody, this is Michelle from Virtual Hand Care, your online hand expert. I know sign language, and in this video I am going to teach you how to do American Sign Language, so ASL, from A to Z. So you might be wondering why a video on American Sign Language? Well, first, I find sign language just a beautiful language. You're able to communicate with your body, with your face, with your fingers. You're able to communicate without words, and it's just a beautiful language. And you're able to communicate with somebody that is deaf or hearing impaired, and that what better gift than to be able to be all inclusive of people with all abilities. Now, on the other hand, I also love doing it because of the finger mobility and the dexterity and the coordination and the movement that you can get in your fingers when you learn sign language. So you're getting to learn a language, and you're also getting more mobility in your fingers. And that's really important too after you've had an injury. So if you've had a hand injury or you've had a wrist injury, you might really notice it's really difficult to get that individual finger motion going. A lot of my videos work more on like whole hand, making a fist and being able to straighten. But what you'll get out of this video is more individual type of movements, which is so important. If you play piano, you're a musician, you are an athlete, you're a hobbyist, or anything, even doing things on a daily basis, holding things of various sizes and manipulating small objects, we need individual finger movement. So what better way to be able to learn a language, but also be able to get more mobility in our fingers than learning American Sign Language. And the reason why I'm going to teach you American Sign Language is because that's what I was taught. So many years ago, I took ASL, so American Sign Language. I took 2 years of it in college. I won't tell you how far back that was, but I really enjoyed it. I was taught by a deaf professor, which I feel was one of the best experiences I ever could have had. This is the way that I was taught. However, there might be a few letters that you learned a little differently. So keep in mind there is some variety in some of those letters. So what we're going to do, we're going to end up doing them on both hands, but we're going to start with the easier hand first. So I'm right-handed. I'm going to start on my right hand. So first we're going to start with the letter A. So A is more of a straight fist. So that's where we don't curl the fingers, but we come down into an A, and the thumb is on the side. And then we've got B. So I really love that transition from A. Now we're going all the way up into B. And then we're learning C. And of course, C is pretty easy to remember, and making sure you get that thumb in a nice C position. And then we've got D. So it's easy to transition from C to D. And we got to make sure that that index finger is straight. And then we've got E. And then F. And G. And H. And I. So from H, we come up and we go to I. So we almost make a fist, but then we get that little finger pointing up. And then we go into J, kind of a J in the air. You're drawing a J with your little finger in the air with a nice little wrist flick too. J. Then we come into a K. So a K, we have the ring finger and small finger down in our palm. And then we've got our index up and our middle finger out, and then the thumb is to the side. So that's a K. And then L, I think L is pretty self-explanatory here. And then we're going to go into an M. So we come from the L, we go up with our 3 fingers. Our thumb is across the palm here, tucked between our ring and our small, and then curl over into the M. And then we've got N. O. And O is just like the C, except we come down into a full O. And make sure you've got a nice O, nice circle in there. Now we're going to go down and point down into that P. And then Q. And then R. So go from Q, we come up then, so we're not pointing down, we come up and we cross the fingers into our R. Then we go to our S, which our S is a full fist with the thumb across the fingers. That's our S. Then we go into our T. So the T is with the thumb in between the index and the middle. That's our T. And if you want to know another sign language, a word, if you go into the T and then you shake the T, that means you have to go, you're going to go to the bathroom. So just another little tip. And then you want to go to a U. So from there you transition with, again, the index and the middle up, while the other fingers are curled down into our U. So our U is with the fingers together, but our V is open. And that looks just like a V there. Nice good space between the fingers. Then we bring the ring finger up to make our W. Then we go into our X. So an X is kind of like a hook, almost like you're making that index go into a hook. So X. And then from our X, we go into Y and Z. This is how I learned to make my Z. So you just, again, just like your J, your Z is in the air as well. Okay guys, so now to add a challenge, we're going to do it on our other hand as well. Do just keep in mind that if you are going to be finger spelling or doing the alphabet to somebody that is deaf, that you pick a side. You don't want to switch between your right hand and your left hand. So if you're right-handed, you typically would just use your right hand when you are signing and spelling. Or if you're a lefty, then you would want to make sure that you're communicating just with the left. But if you're looking to improve mobility on both sides, then go ahead, and I think it's wonderful to learn how to do it on both sides, but just know when you're communicating with somebody that is deaf or hearing impaired that you do just stick with one hand when you're doing that. I'm not going to be as good on my left side because I'm very right hand dominant. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to do this one a little bit faster. So we've got A. So A is that full fist. B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. P is pointing down, and so is Q. R, come up and cross those fingers into the R. S, full fist. T, remember, bathroom. U, V, W, X, the little hook of the index finger, Y, and Z. Awesome job, you guys. It's going to take some time to learn a new language. I do recommend to just start off slow. Come back a couple of times a day to this video and just learn and make sure that you've gotten A, B, C, and D before you progress on, and just take it in little sections. But also do make sure that you're not straining in the hand and in the fingers, and that you can come down lightly. You don't have to strain when you're going through those. Let me know in the comments below if you know sign language or if this is helping you be able to learn sign language, but also get a little bit better mobility in the hand and in the fingers. Like this video and don't forget to subscribe to Virtual Hand Care. Thanks for watching.